Oh, hello, my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of your favorite English show. Well, I hope it's your favorite English show. It's the show with no name, and we are live on Vaughn Radio. Welcome one, welcome all. We're going to have a blast. Lo vamos a pasar grande. You say bomba, right? Well, think about it. It's the same thing. That's a blast. We're gonna have a blast today. I can guarantee that. And speaking of blast, I think it's time for blast off, or as we usually call it, lift off.
T minus
10, 9,
8,
7,
6,
5.
4,
Come on.
3, 2,
0.
1,
Oh,
0.
I skipped one.
Ignition. Lift off. Lift off.
Here we go, folks. Hold on to your hats.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. It's the show. Let's go.
That's right. That's right. Welcome, amigos. Welcome aboard. A pleasure to have you here. Those of you who are with me in the live stream, you're like, Alberto, what are you looking at? Why are you so interested? You're not looking at us. You're not looking at the camera. Well, I've got something in my hands. This is a book, one of a series of books that we have at our Vaughn Tienda. You guys know our Vaughn Tienda is a one-stop shop for everything you need to improve your English. And I'm holding a book in my hands with Richard Vaughn on the cover and yours truly, un servidor, I think you say in Spanish. And this is not one of my books, I have to be honest. I have 4 books. I have, tengo que ir en orden correcto. Chronological order is the best, because if not, if I start jumping around, I forget my books. I have only 4, but, well. So the first one, English Everywhere. The second one is a bestseller. This book is The Milk. The third book is The Milk 2. It used to be called The Remilk, but now it's available with audio, and it's a brand spanking new cover. And who knows? Maybe there's a third one in that series that is in the works. I can't confirm or deny that. But I live by this philosophy in life. If you ask, you shall receive, right? I think this is even maybe biblical. Correct me if I'm wrong. You ask and you shall receive. So if you ask enough and long enough, and if you're patient, maybe there will be a third book in that Milk series. We're in negotiations now. We've got a lot of ideas. In fact, it's not a question of ideas. It's a question of time. But we'll see. Stay tuned. Either way, you've got my latest book, which is a book for people, if you love to travel. That book is called, I have to think about this. English on the Go. Aprende Inglés viajando por el mundo. And I take you to 30 different cities. All of the books have practical English in them, and they all have like common mistakes, pronunciation. So what I've done in all 4 of my books is taken my over 20 years experience now and I've put it into the book. So I'm like, oh, I want to mention this because my students tend to make mistakes in this area. So if you don't have those books or any of our amazing materials, really, you can go over to Von Tienda. The one I have in my hand is very handy. The one, yeah, it's very handy. It's útil. Of course, it's called Conversaciones en Inglés número dos. Now, there are a couple of them. And this one, well, obviously is number 2 in the series. And I figured what we could do today in our pop quiz is take a look at some challenges straight from this book. And I haven't prepared them. Usually I prepare them. So I think today we're going to randomly go through one of our amazing materials, Conversaciones en Inglés dos. If you have it, then you have an advantage in today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. That's right. All right, amigos. Well, as I said, today's pop quiz is coming straight from this amazing material. Again, all of them you can just browse. ¿Conocéis la palabra browser? Well, that kind of makes sense. If you know the word browser, to browse is ojear, mirar, buscar. I always teach this word when I talk about shopping, okay? In fact, you'll probably find this in the shopping chapter of English Everywhere. And it's when you walk into a store, especially in the United States, the clerks can be a little bit, the sales associates, the clerks, they can be a little bit pushy. Maybe they're making a commission. It's okay. Hey, I'd prefer that somebody be helpful than, than just ignore me. So that's good. But sometimes you're not ready. You don't know what you want. You're just browsing. Apúntatela. Porque la próxima vez que vas a Estados Unidos y te viene una dependiente o dependiente, dice, can I help you, sir? Or what are you looking for today? And you're like, I'm just browsing, ojeando, mirando. And any of you who work in IT, you'll be familiar with that word from the word browse. So browse around our website. It's Von Tienda. Now, that's our website for materials. If what you're looking for is classes or information about upcoming events, go over to grupovon.com, and that's where you can find the radio. Either way, best way to make sure you never miss a radio episode of whatever your favorite show is on Vaughn Radio is download the app or follow us on iVox, Spotify, Apple, and you can get the podcasts every day. Those of you who follow us live every day, excellent job. Yesterday, I was blown away. Totally blown away. So keep up the great work, guys. Me explotasteis la cabeza ayer. Con lo bien que lo hicisteis. You did such a great job. You do every day. But, as I said, the first day back after a little break, I'm like, who's going to be? Think about it, But what I realized is my students took that time at Christmas, New Year, the wise men, and used it to improve their English. So great job. I applaud you. I applaud your energy, your effort, your drive, right? Drive is motivación. We've looked at that word many times on the show. Oh, and before we look at our pop quiz, also a quick reminder, the day is tomorrow. Now, I don't know if you're listening to this live or not, so let me give you the full date. This is Wednesday, January 11th at 8:30 p.m. at Roll Madrid. This is Calle Amaniel 23, Fitz, my great buddy Fitz, will be hosting a trivia night. Wait. Shouldn't we do that with a little bit of music? Cue the music. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Vaughn Radio Trivia Nights. January, kicking off with Fitz. 8:30 p.m. Get there a little bit early. It's Vaughn Radio Trivia Nights at Roll Madrid. Calle Manuel 23. And it's hosted by the master himself this month, Fitz, from Vaughn Radio's No Excuses. Wednesday, January 11th at 8:30 p.m. at Roll Madrid. It's Vaughn Radio Trivia Nights. Hey, not bad. Well, the good thing is I can see when the jingle is going to end on my mixing board here. Mi mesa de mezcla, I think you call it. I can see. So I'm like, 3 segundos. Okay, pues extiendo eso, pauso y acabamos. So that wasn't a coincidence. That was timed. But I hope you guys can make it. I'll be there. It's a free event, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think everybody will enjoy the event. And I still have to cash in. To cash in is canjear. We looked at it yesterday. I have a free meal and a free beer. So what does that mean? They give you a free meal or a free beer. Well, both, a free meal and a beer if you're on the winning team. So that's why I always recommend people get there a little bit earlier, right? Get there. What's wrong with getting there earlier? Order a beer. I know I'm going to be getting there a little bit early, and who knows? I may recruit you. A lo mejor te recluto. Okay, let's take a look at this book. As I said, this book is called Conversaciones en Inglés 2, and it's a series of conversations. I can show you it over here. Sales targets. They all have a different. They're topic based, right? So they all have like FYI, holidays, stuck in traffic, right? In fact, let's look at that one. We're going to look at stuck in traffic. Estoy en un atasco. I'm in a traffic jam or I'm stuck. Prefiero que use stuck. ¿Por qué? Porque stuck nos vale para otras cosas, right? Stuck. This thing is stuck. I can't get it. Okay, well, try. My ring is stuck on my finger. So that's a word that can help us so much more. So after you read the conversation and listen to it, because remember, it comes with audio, then you have a series of questions that you have to answer, okay? And then you also have in a lot of Vaughn books, because these are workbooks, these are books we want you to write. You don't normally write too much on your novels, but an English book, you should be destroying it. I'll never forget, it's happened a few times, but there was one time where it was just, it was absolutely mind-blowing. And a student came up to me and he goes, Alberto, I have English everywhere, your first book, and you remember how you told me to devour it, devorar, to really, really sink my teeth into it? Well, I listened and I grabbed the book and the thing was falling apart. Se estaba quedando en trozos aquí. There were Post-its everywhere. There was pink highlighter. There were markings. There were notes everywhere. And I said, wow, I know that you are making the most of these materials. So that's another good thing about Vaughn's materials. You guys can mark them up. That's the whole idea. Reads, I like this. I'm going to make a little star there. We all have our own method. I know myself in my calendar, I'm like, okay, personal things are blue, work things are red, and everybody's got their system. So come up with your system. You should have a system when you study. Okay, we have Vaughn systems. What about yours? You can base it on ours. Why? Well, Vaughn systems, our method is based on the way you really learn your own language as a child. So if it works for you to learn your own language, it should work for you to learn English. It's applying the way, I don't know, I guess maybe 10 years into working at Vaughn, I realized, I said, wait a second. Maybe it was when my friends started having kids. And I was like, wait, what's this? Is this a pen or is this a monkey? And I was like, wait a second. I'm doing the Vaughn method with my friends' kids here. And now I'm doing it with my own kids, which means the Vaughn method is the natural way that we acquire language. And obviously, if you add in a dynamic teacher, you've got, wait, I got to get to my sound effects over here. You've got something magical, my amigos. All right, so here we go. Now we've all been stuck in traffic, and if you haven't, wow, you don't know how lucky you are. Let's see. Let's look at some figures. I remember seeing some figures. Long? How long is average American in traffic? Let's ask Google. See what he has to say here. The average one-way commute since 1980. Okay, so the average commute time in the United States is 34.7 minutes. Well, that's not too bad. That doesn't prove my point very well. All right, I guess that's the average. Okay, that's in New York City has the longest 34. So people live in the States, people live relatively near. But I'll tell you something right now. I don't ever remember taking less than 30 minutes to get anywhere. So I don't know if I trust those figures over there. Esas cifras. But whether you're going into the center of Madrid, whether you're, getting off a highway and there's just one exit and there are a lot of cars and there's some festival or some special event, we've all been stuck in traffic. All right. So what I want you, it gives you a comparison here. And we always use animals. Oh man, I can eat like a horse. Right? Oh, no. The expression is he eats like a bird, which means he doesn't eat a lot. And I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Me echo un lío ahí. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Tengo muchísima hambre. So as you guys do, hacer el mono, to monkey around, we use animals to describe people, situations, and things like that. So you're calling because you're late, right? And here's another thing. Normally we don't say I'm late because technically when you call, you're not really late yet, right? You're gonna be late. And you can say I'm gonna be late. I'm going to, or you can say I'm running late. And that's the most native way to say it. I'm sorry, I'm running late. I'm running 10 minutes behind. I don't know, even though you're not running, we say you're running late. I've heard students always opt for I'm late. And I look at my watch sometimes. I'm like, well, not yet. Yeah, but I know I'm gonna be late. Then you can say I'm gonna be late or I'm running late. Muy nativo. So you're calling your boss and you're telling your boss in your perfect English, I'm running late. I'm stuck in traffic. Y esto se mueve a paso de tortuga. How would you describe that? Now, I think this one, you might even be able to get away with a few different options here. But there's one that's specific in this book, and we'll take a look at a few other ways to say it as well. But I want to hear how you guys would say in English, moverse a paso de tortuga, which means really to go very, very slow, right? To barely move. So if you guys can tell me that, you know what? Use traffic. It's a perfect, remember how I always want you to use it in context. Use traffic. As I said, it's one that we can all relate to. Unfortunately, we can all relate to traffic. All right, let's go on over to our chat room and say what's up to our show with no namers. Hello, everybody. Great to have you on board. Thanks again. If you love the show with no names, spread the word. Follow us on social media. When I say us, I mean Vaughn, I mean me, obviously my friends too. All right, speaking of friends, there's Chris Valrol. What's up, Chris? Chris says, morning, Alberto and mates. Happy New Year. That's right, we missed you yesterday, Chris. She goes, glad to see you again. Yesterday, I couldn't attend the show, but I listened to it before. Mates, you are awesome. Great stuff, Chris. You were with us in spirit, and I'm glad you got to listen to the show. Remember, you don't have to miss a show if you don't want to. That's what podcasts are all about. There's my dad, Diego Alonso, and he says, good morning, Alberto, friends, family, Greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York, New York, New York. Awesome, Dad. Always a pleasure to have you on board. There's Eduardo. Eduardo says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. And he says, thanks a lot. Well, thank you. Again, you guys are always saying, thanks for teaching. Well, thanks for choosing to learn with me. There are a lot of English teachers out there. But, well, I do it my way. I do it my way. Well, it worked for me. It's working for my daughter. I use the Vaughn method, which is the most natural way to learn, in my opinion. And based on all my experience, not just as a teacher, but as a father, as an uncle, como tío, ¿no? Estás enseñando siempre, at least me. I mean, okay, I don't go around correcting people. I'm not pedantic. I try not to be. But kids, oh God, the moment I have a kid, I'm like, ¿cómo se dice esto en inglés? I get their attention instantly. ¿Y esto? ¿Qué número es? 4. That's right. All right, Monse. Monse says, morning, guys. How you doing? What's up, Monse? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Great to have you on board for the second show of 2023. Laura says, good morning. Wonderful show with no namers. Let's have a magical time together. Laura, there's no doubt in my mind that we will have that magical time. Why? You're here. True story. I'm not making that up. Lemura says, hi, Alberto and friends. Happy New Year. Great to be here with you again. Let's go. That's the tude. Yeah, tude is a lazy way to say attitude. That's the tude. That's the attitude. Lemura, great to read your name as always. Yeah. Ooh, there's Nihad. Great to read your name too, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Nihad, we missed you too yesterday. Nihad and Chris. Hey, when you guys aren't here, we know. We're missing your presence. You're here with us in spirit, but you know and we know we miss you. You miss us, right? It's mutual. Nihad says, good morning, Mr. Alberto, and Happy New Year. To move at a snail's pace. Okay, Happy New Year. That's okay. That's what we're looking for. And I'm going to give you an applause. But you know how I feel about context. Because that's not a sentence. But I love you just the same, Nihad. Let's see if somebody can use it in context. Because an expression, a collocation, a phrasal verb without context is just a word. Right? Give me some context, baby. All right, let's see. Eduardo says, that's a lot. Oh, did you say that's a lot? I misread it. Oh, yeah, he put that's a lot. Sorry, Eduardo, that's me. I got to get my eyes checked. Como se dice, tengo que revisar los ojos. He says, that's a lot. Eso es mucho. I was talking about the 4 books you have written, not wrote. Right? Cuando usamos have o has como el verbo auxiliar, vamos a la tercera columna, que es written. That's a lot. Well, yeah, it's a lot. And believe me, you know, there's a lot that goes into writing a book. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Because when you're done, you're like, yes, we got it. We have 200 pages or whatever. And then you're like, okay, but now it's got to go into a document. Now it's got to be formatted and the layout. Oof. And then you got to proofread it 1,000,001 times. It can be pretty stressful. Yeah, that is a lot. But Eduardo, I'm not done yet. Oops, wasn't supposed to say that. Salvador says, morning, classmates and AA. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Salvador. Let's see. Anix says, when it comes to ride a bike, Anix, I love you. Why? Because you used a full sentence and you made a little mistake, but that's great. Do you know why you made that mistake? Not because you don't know English. Because you left your comfort zone. And I love it. So, Anix, we're just going to make a little tweak there, a little adjustment. When it comes to riding, engaña, es como look forward to. ¿No? Es un ING, aunque parece que va el infinitivo ahí. So, when it comes to, en cuanto se refiere a, when it comes to riding a bike, I move at a snail's pace. Awesome, Onyx. That's what I was looking for. Oh, yeah. Let's see, Laura. Laura says, I'm afraid I'll be late for work today. Ooh, this is great. Demo. Nice, Laura. I'm afraid I'll be late for work today because I'm stuffed. No se leer, guys. I'm stuck in traffic and I'm moving at a snail's pace. Excellent job. But guys, we have to go to our first commercial break. I can't believe it. The good news, we'll be right back with tons more Show with No Name. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name. Here we are on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget, right before our show, we've got Fitz and his program, No Excuses. It's a very teachy program, didáctico. Se puede decir teachy, but that's great, right? He really, really drills you, ¿no? Te hace practicar. Right? To drill is, ask me this, ask me the other. This is to drill. That's another thing that's part of the Vaughn method. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in classes with us, I got an email the other day. Let me just check it out because I told you, if I don't write things down, I can't remember them. But the good news is I save important emails. Our master's program is kicking off this February 26th. The 26th of February, our master's program will be kicking off. If you want to get involved, get some more information at groupofon.com. We've also got our immersion courses. We've got private classes. We've got group classes, and we've even got stuff for the kids on the weekend with Disney. Oh, yeah. More information at groupofon.com. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to this, the second part of today's show. I hope you guys are having fun so far. I hope you learned a lot in the first part, and I hope you're ready for some more challenges up ahead. Adelante. So let's go with our next challenge. Say what? Say what? What? Put your hands up. That's right, folks. This is our Say What soundbite. And this is a part of the show where you're going to hear a famous person speaking. And you guys, like little detectives, have to tell me what's being said. All right, folks. Now, the first After the first 2 listens, as you know, I don't expect you to know it all. I don't expect you to be able to get all the vocabulary, all the words down. Some of you do it after the 3rd go. But initially, I just want you to give me your observations based on what you heard in your best English possible. I want you to impress me, and I want you to impress your classmates with your English and your observations. All right, so this is the Say What soundbite for the first time. Please write down what you hear.
No. We're not going to pay you. Get your own product. And we looked around and found this grill, not in its current form. And we formed a joint venture together.
All right, there we go, my amigos. That's the Say What soundbite for the first time. Interesting voice. I'm going to comment myself. I can't help it. A veces no lo puedo evitar. You know, a lot of times I ask you for your opinion, but I'm like, oh, let me give mine. I think the person has a deep, interesting voice. I want to know more. Well, I want to know more from you guys as well. So make sure you tell us over in the group. Now, let me give it to you for the second time, and then we'll take a look. I also want to take a look. We have some more answers from today's pop quiz. So many people participating, guys, and keep it up. This year has gotten off to a great start. To get off to a good start, empezar con buen pie. Here it is, the Say What soundbite for the second time.
No. We're not going to pay you. Get your own product. And we looked around and found this grill, not in its current form. And we formed a joint venture together.
All right, there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the Say What soundbite for the second time. Hopefully, you guys will be able to give me some feedback based on what you heard. Also, we were looking at other ways to say not slow, but excruciatingly slow. And we were talking about traffic. One word that comes to mind is traffic is at a standstill. Apúntate esa. Esto específicamente lo usamos con un atasco. It's at o sea, also we say bumper to bumper. O sea, de bumper es la parachoque a parachoque. O sea, aquí no hay espacio ni nadie se mueve. It's bumper to bumper traffic. Traffic is at a standstill. And believe me, living in the New York area, you hear this vocabulary a lot because there are a lot of bridges and tunnels that come in and out of New York City. And what happens? Well, at rush hour, hora punta, you can imagine what those are like. And then everybody's honking their horn. And by the way, to honk or to beep, it's illegal. You'll get a fine if you honk the horn in the tunnels. Well, supposedly, if it's like the right acoustics, you can break the panels. I mean, you're underwater. I don't know if I believe that. But don't honk your horn. We don't want to find out. And don't honk your horn anyway. Be patient. I love when, nobody's moving at all and people start beeping. It's like, well, if nobody's moving, do you think we're going to like, look, come on. We're all in the same boat here. This sucks for all of us. All right, let's see now. Chris Valrol, you gave me the one I was thinking about. Now, the one in the book was, as we said, moving at a snail's pace. Un caracol. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? Pace es ritmo, snail es caracol. Chris says, please stop going as slow as molasses. And you know what? Stop going as slow as molasses. We'll be here forever. Great context, Chris. And I'm going to add a little something to it. A lot of times, si queremos hasta darle énfasis, because molasses is melaza. So it's this stuff. What do you call it? I think it's melaza. Me acuerdo de haberlo visto aquí. Molasses. One second. We're going to look it up. Molasses. Melaza. Yeah, I was right. Okay, so it's like a sugary syrup, right? So we say you're as slow as molasses in January. Si quieres rematar, Chris, it's perfect. Slow as molasses. Pero si dices in January, que hace frío, porque claro, en el verano, that syrup, like honey, piensa en la miel. In the summer, it comes right out, but in the winter, sometimes it moves a little slow. So that's a very creative one. You're as slow as molasses in January. Great one, Chris. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's see. We've got Salvador. He says, despite all their promises, the project is progressing at a snail's pace. Excellent job, Salvador. Nihad, he's like, I'll use some context. Hey, it's not for me. It's for you, right? So you make sure you're using it correctly. It needs to be changed, but please, not at a snail's pace. So hurry up. Hurry up. Step on it. Date prisa. Let's see. Anix. Anix is participating in the Say What soundbite, and let's see what she has to say. Anix, can you tell me, can you confirm how long have you been listening to the show with no name for? Or watching, listening, participating, being a part? How long have you been a show with no namer? Because I know a lot of you guys have been here a long time, but then we've got the old school from way back in the day. Some of you are still with us, some of you not as often. I still keep in touch with most of my students, even the ones I had before I was on the radio, at Vodafone, at Citibank. So it's interesting. I don't know how I do it, but I try. I really do. Well, as a teacher, I really think you have to not just care about your students' English, but you have to care about them as people, right? No cuesta nada extra importarse de sus bienes, okay. I'm concerned with your English and making sure you make progress, but I'm also concerned, that you're okay, that you're doing well in your life, as I would with any of my friends. And I've made friends, even relationships with some past students. I won't talk about that. I'm going to shut up now before I put my foot deeper into my mouth. Okay, Anik says it's a deep male voice. He has a British accent. I think it's an interview, and he's talking about paying for a product and the way to do it in current days. Okay, interesting. Great job. I'm going to disagree with the British part, but that's fine, right? It's fine. I asked you for your opinion. He's not British, but the rest is pretty spot on, Anix. Nihad says, an American with a deep voice refuses to buy a product. I think it's a grill. In his opinion, because it's not the form that he wants it. And in the same time, Nihad, at the same time, pero ¿ves por qué quiero que escribáis lo que queréis decir? Y así os puedo ayudar. And at the same time, he doesn't like it either. Okay, great. Let's see what else here. We've got Monse. Monse says, I'll say that's an American man talking about when a company, I guess, told him they were not going to pay him for his own product, but they were expecting to team up and collaborate with him. Monse, that was 100% spot on. Like, you nailed it there. That's what's going on. So great. You can tell again that Monse, she's tuned in, sintonizada, because she listens to, obviously, the show with no name, but she also watches series and movies. So her not just her speaking, but her comprehension has improved as well in the way she expresses herself. So great job. You got it, and you expressed it correctly too. So wonderful job there. Leonardo, speaking of expressing themselves wonderfully, Leonardo says, I think he is a businessman explaining how he set up a joint venture. Great ear, dude. A joint es conjunto. A joint venture with another entrepreneur who has offered him his product, but that product was not the holy grail. I'm not sure of that last word. Well, Leonardo, excellent vocabulary. Joint venture. Okay, that's a funny word. The word joint could be a quadruple trouble. So joint, conjunto. Joint, garito. Oh, man, is that my brother opened up a new joint in La Latina. Un garito. Joint. Oh, my joints hurt in the winter. Articulaciones. Well, some people will say, smoke a joint. Fumate un porro. Hey, if you can remember all those, you can put them in a little story. I went to the doctor and I told him that my joints hurt. He prescribed joints. But this doctor, he doesn't work alone. He has a joint office. Y el otro? But this doctor's office used to be a jazz joint, un sitio, un garito de jazz. Okay. Hey, guys, it doesn't have to be funny. You just have to remember, because if you know the word joint, then you know 4 different words in English. Leonardo, great job. Laura says, I heard the deep voice of a man whose accent I cannot really place, explaining how he found a joint venture with someone else. Excellent job, Laura. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, I heard a man, owner of a unique voice. It's a very formal construction, Chris, but it's correct. It reminds me of owner of a lonely heart. Owner of a lonely heart. I know I'm not singing it correctly. I think it's a song by Yes. Is that correct? Owner of a lonely heart. Soy el dueño de un corazón solitario. I heard a man, owner of a unique voice, and I'd say he's American. I'd say you're right. And he's talking about a product. Cuidado con la pronunciación. He oído mucha gente decir product. It's product. Lo mismo que project. It's not project, it's project. So product and project. De hecho, vamos a hacer un video de esos. And project. By the way, if you're not following me on social media, you're getting videos every day to help you with your English. And as we know, that's free. So let's see. He's American and he's talking about a product, your own product. And I thought he said something about an adventure. But I trust Laura and Leo. Well, also think about this. Maybe, Chris, he said venture, because there are 2 different words that sound similar. So an adventure, una aventura, they went on an adventure. And then they started a venture en este, como hemos dicho, a joint venture. Venture es una empresa, un proyecto en ese sentido. Okay? Que no es adventure, es venture, empezando con V. It's a very common word used in the business world. All right, well, guys, there's just one thing I can say. Awesome. Fantastic job, guys. Let's see how you do on today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, amigos. It is our Spelling Bee only on the show with no name. Be careful you don't get stung by the Spelling Bee. Yesterday, Lupe blew us out of the water. Nos sorprendió, nos dejó pasmados. She blew us all out of the water. También es dar mil vueltas. Excellent job yesterday, Lupe. I knew, and I always do, I should say I know, that every day I'm really unfair with you in that first round, right? In the second round, I'm as fair can be, right? Soy muy justo. But that first one, I am a motherfucker. Hey, hay que decir las cosas como son, right? I'm a jerk, un cabrón, por decirlo tan rápido. But there's always a student or two who's able to get it on the first go. So until that doesn't, until I have students who are just not getting it, I'm going to keep going fast. In fact, because of you, I have to go faster and faster. So I have to work on my breath support. Right? Okay, so today's Spelling Bee, this is round 1. The first word, these don't have to be capitalized, okay? No hay que ponerlos con mayúscula, okay? Here we go. The first word is LAST space STRAW. The second one is TURNING space POINT. The third one is FORK space IN space ROAD. The fourth one is CROSS ROADS. The fifth one is POINT space NO space RETURN. And the last one, the sixth one, is TIPPING space POINT. What? I told you I was going to be cruel. Don't be cruel. Well, I am. In the first part, I'm cruel. Acuérdate, en inglés la E no se pronuncia, no es cruel, it's cruel, cruel. Don't be cruel. Don't take my word for it. Ask Elvis. It was his birthday recently. By the way, if you love Elvis, even if you don't love Elvis, I think you'll find it interesting. There's an episode of For Your Inglés, my self-produced podcast, and that is on Elvis. Also, the first episode that came out last week in 2023 was on motivation. Everybody's been giving me a lot of great feedback about the episode, so thank you. Next up is one of my favorite episodes coming out this Friday. You're going to hear from Guy Williams, Kyle Miller. You're going to hear from Tosh Pasqua and other people I work with on Vaughn Radio. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy that topic. The topic is Radio Gaga. Well, without the Gaga. But you'll see we're all Gaga about radio. Okay, let's see. Lemura participating really quickly. Let's go back to our Say What soundbite. She says, I heard a man speaking. Good. In all of them, I think that I heard a man speaking. We don't, unless we put like about, lo que sea, in all of them, I heard someone speaking. So if we put that into, I heard an American man speaking about tal, then we say a lot in that first sentence. So he's talking about a product related to phones. Interesting. And how he started a venture. There's that word. Great job, Lemura. After looking around for a solution. Wonderful. Absolutely. You heard it perfectly. Let's see. Anybody get our spelling bee over here? Let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, this is unbelievable. See? I got to go faster and faster because our students are super show with no namers. Please give it up for Lemura and Chris Valrol. Lemura, you were the first one to get it there. Excellent job, Lemura. And the second one was Chris Valrol, and they look perfect. I'm not seeing any mistakes. So wonderful job there, ladies. And now, you know what you can do on this second round? Just chill out, relax, grab a cup of Joe, cógete un café, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. All right, here we go with round two. This is for us normal people. Me incluyo yo en el gente normal. All right, not that you guys aren't normal. You catch my drift, maybe ice. All right, the first one is LAST space STRAW. This is the pace of somebody who wants you to understand them. Okay. The second one, TURNING space POINT. The third one is FORK space IN space ROAD. The fourth one is CROSS ROADS. The fifth one is POINT space NO space RETURN. And the last one is TIPPING space POINT. Now, the interesting thing over here is that word, la palabra point, if you noticed, is in there 3 times in 3 different idiomatic expressions. And if you haven't figured it out yet, these are all idiomatic expressions that have to do with Julius Caesar. Well, not really, but kind of. Because today, in the year 49 BC, Julius Caesar, me invento su nombre, César, we say Caesar. In 49 BC, before Christ, Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon River, signaling the start of his march on Rome, a civil war, right? So now, this expression, to cross the Rubicon, is to reach that point where you got to keep going. There's no turning back, como se dice en inglés. No hay vuelta atrás. No turning back. Me suena como eso, como si fuera una canción o algo. Well, that was Julius Caesar. And yeah, he said to his troops, according to history, the history books, he turned around, se dio media vuelta, and he said to his troops, once we cross this river, right? I guess because strategically, it was the point where you'd gone too far to turn back. So what he said is, once we cross this river called the Rubicon, it means that there's no turning back. Otra vez, te estoy diciendo el sinónimos. There's no turning back. The point of no return. And we'll look at these. We'll look at a few different ways to express this idea. I just said a few of them for you. I said, there's no turning back. We've reached the point of no return. We are going to cross the Rubicon, or we've just crossed the Rubicon. I've got to be honest with you. I love these idiomatic expressions that come from history, because when you think of it, they're easy to visualize. I can visualize, ladies. Well, actually, I don't know if were there lady troops. All right, gentlemen, once we cross this river, there is no turning back. We must take Rome. Folks, hey, I went to drama school. We'll be right back, folks. We've got so much more Show with No Name up ahead, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Von Radio. Oh, yeah. So much to do, my amigos. So much to do. We are halfway through our show. I can't believe it. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you're learning. And I know you're making friends. And I know you're kicking ass. Arrasando, petándolo, as you say in Spain. Kicking ass and taking names. Me gusta eso. Estoy arrasando y hasta apuntando los nombres. Kicking ass and taking names. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the third part. I can't believe it. The third part of our 4-part show, the show with no name. A quick reminder, right after today's show, you've got Let's Get Random with Jules Linares. Let's Get Random on Von Radio every day at 12:30, right after the show with no name. After that, you got Rob and Andy on the lunchtime show. After the lunchtime show, you've got Tash Pasqua and Back to Basics. You've got Guy Williams and Western Civilization. You've got Jessica Fernandez and The Hour to Empower. You've got Kyle Miller and Drive Time and so much more. So make sure you download the free Von Radio app. All right, my amigos. That said, let's rock and roll right into today's homophones.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 The show with no name.
That's right, folks. It's homophones or not on the show with no name. I'm going to give you 2 words right now. And you might be familiar with these words. Maybe you won't be familiar with these words. You will be after the section is done. I can guarantee that because we'll take a look at all the most common uses. So we don't only look at pronunciation here and these little nuances, matices, but we also look at the most common uses of each of the words as well, because as you know from our double trouble section, words usually have more than one meaning in English, which makes it easy. You don't have to learn as many words. You just have to remember their different meanings, right? That's what the whole double trouble section is about. Okay, let's take a look. The first word I'm sure you're familiar with. I know you're familiar with it. I've heard you guys even use it in Spanish. The word is matar. Matar. Okay? También es petarlo, arrasar. Ah, lo mataste anoche. Si yo te lo digo así, lo hiciste muy bien, ¿no? Arrasaste, triunfaste. Okay, so it can be, otra vez, estamos viendo más. A lo mejor sabías la palabra, pero no sabes que es algo positivo también. It always reminds me of Rob Grams. He uses this one a lot. Lo estás matando, que suena en español como lo estás haciendo fatal, pero no. Lo estás haciendo genial. It's interesting how language is like that. Just the same way the shit in English is something awesome. If something is the shit, no hay cosa mejor. I know, it doesn't make sense. All right, so the first word is matar. Okay? The second word is a structural part of a boat. It's called the quilla in Spanish. Quilla. Now, also, though, it's tumbarse o balancearse, right? When we're talking about a boat, empieza a tumbarse. You don't want this to happen when you're on a boat. So it has to do with boats. But also, if we add the preposition over, it means, it says here, dar un patatus, que es interesante, porque entonces suena como matar. Whoa. So my question is, what are these 2 words? And do the 2 words sound exactly the same? The first one, matar. The second one, quilla, tumbarse, balancearse, to roll. If a boat starts to go like that, you're like, oh, I don't think that's good. And if we add over, it means dar un chungo, dar un patatus. Okay, there you go, my amigos. Desfallecer. Ooh, that's formal. I didn't know that one. Okay, so my amigos, let's take a look at these words. Oh, well, in the meantime, too, let me give you the Say What soundbite. Please grab a pen. This is the third listen of today's Say What soundbite.
No. We're not going to pay you. Get your own product. And we looked around and found this grill, not in its current form. And we formed a joint venture together.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You'll hear that one more time a little bit later on in the fourth part of the show. Let's also review our spelling bee. We had these words that we were looking at, and the first word, or expressions, I should say, is the last straw. Now, eso puede ser una forma de decir, crucé el Rubicón, como ya no hay vuelta atrás, ya no aguanto más. Esto es todo o nada. It's all or nothing. It's do or die. So this is the last straw. Viene de la expresión the straw that broke the camel's back. O sea, si el camello está cargando paja y le pones una más, and now the camel can't take it. Esa fue la que no pudo más, right? That's how but since it's a very long expression, the straw that broke the camel's back, you can just say that was the last straw. We use it a lot. The last straw. I'm going to write it down here in my on my list here. The last straw. Another one, and I love this one. I learned this one in Spanish because I think these are important in life, and they're all similar. These are all related in some way. Is a turning point. Punto de inflexión. Again, what was this when Julius Caesar crossed the Rubicon? It was a turning point, right? A fork in the road. Esto es otra. A fork in the road. Una bifurcación en el camino, right? If you know Green Day, they have a song called Good Riddance. I hope you had the time of your life. He goes, another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Te da dos de los spelling bees de hoy. Another turning point, otro punto de inflexión. A fork, nosotros llamamos una bifurcación. Piénsalo. Entras por un camino y ahora tienes cuatro para salir. Like, oh, now where do I go? The next one I think you know, and you say in Spanish, a crossroads. I've reached a crossroads. Un cruce de caminos? I believe I've heard that one in Spanish. Another one, the point of no return. We have reached, hemos llegado, we have reached the point of no return. And the last one, and this is a great book. If you haven't read this book, I love it. It's a book by Malcolm Gladwell, and it's called The Tipping Point. And when something tips, it falls over. Think about it. La gota que colmó el vaso. Ya no. And a tipping point is a critical moment. We've reached a tipping point. Un momento crítico. Un punto de inflexión. So you have 6 different ways to express these crucial, these critical moments in life, these moments that define us as humans, as people, right? All right, they define our character even. All right, so there we go, guys. That was our spelling bee. Let's go on over to our homophones. We're doing a lot of stuff here at the same time, so bear with me. Paciencia conmigo. Let's see, Monse is the first one to participate in the homophone section. And Monse says, today's words are and and they're not homophones. Interesting. Okay, Lemura says the 2 words are and they're not homophones. Wait a second. 2 of my best students are telling me they're not homophones. Oh, I trust them. Let's see. Chris says they're not homophones either. Then they're definitely not homophones. And Laura, the 2 words are and they're not. Well, I'd be willing to bet my life here. And Anix as well. Oh my God. So basically, my greatest students are telling me that there is no way that these 2 words sound the same. Also, Anix, I asked you a question and then I didn't read it. She says, I think I've been here almost since the beginning. I reckon that it was the 2nd year after the show started. So that's awesome. Well over a decade. Thank you, Anix, as well, for being here with us and having fun and still having fun. I'm still having fun after all these years, and I hope you guys are. Now, I've got to say something. I don't know what's going on today, but not just today, yesterday, you guys are absolutely unstoppable and on fire. All of you. We've got Lemura, we've got Monse and Laura, all three of them, who nailed today's Say What soundbite. So a nice round of applause and a fire hose, una manguera, for our great super show with no namers, Lemura, Monse, and Laura. Wow. And that's with one more listen left. Great job, ladies. Great job. So proud of you. Orgullosísimo. El sísimo me cuesta a veces. No sé dónde ponerlo. Extremely proud. I'm extremely proud of you. And you should be proud of yourselves. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, we've got some Say What soundbite winners. Let's see if we've got some homophily. I mean, I already said I'd be willing to bet my life that these words don't sound the same, because my greatest students just said that, and I trust them after all these years. So I'll just say both words. Kill. Dilo conmigo porque no es kill. Kill Bill. Kill Bill. Kill. Again, ese es el sonido clave en inglés. Es como si vas a hacer una pero realmente no lo haces. Kill. 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 No es que no abrimos la boca. Es Kill Bill. ¿Ves? Mira mi boca. Kill Bill. If you're watching, it barely opens. It's just a Kill Bill, the famous Quentin Tarantino movie. And the second word is keel. Kill, keel. Kill, keel. No, they are not homophones. The first word doesn't sound like the I latina in Spanish. The second one does. El doble E ahí suena a keel, the keel of the ship. I'm going to keel over if I don't eat something. Me va a dar un patatús, as you say. Okay, I'm going to keel over, and you're going to kill me if I keel over on the keel of the ship. Okay, ahí lo puedes para oírlos todo junto. Kill versus keel. They are not homophones. So excellent job to all of our students who nailed that. Monse says, who runs the world? Con ese, who runs the world? I hope you, because I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to run anything. So I hope we have strong leaders, ladies, gentlemen, good young people who want to run the world, because I ain't interested. It's hard enough for me to run my home. Shows you how powerless you are in life, right? Great job, ladies. Oh, of course. You guys know that about me too. I've always, I admit, when I was younger, I used to say maybe some sexist things. It's more out of ignorance, and ignorance is never an excuse, but I've always respected females, women. I've always had a lot of women in my life as role models. So how would I not? I mean, some of the greatest people I know in my life, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandma, some of my cousins, some of my friends who are women, my wife as well, my daughter. What an amazing person. So as you know, I've always been on your side, ladies. And if people ask me, what's the smarter sex? El género, and I always say, obviously female. Obviously. Come on. Have you ever seen a little 1-year-old boy, or let's go a 2-year-old boy versus a 2-year-old girl? Okay, I don't want to say it because I have a girl, but in general. Okay. Mons is quoting a Beyonce song. Oh, I was thinking of I like the other one that what is it? It's Jay-Z and Rihanna, To Run This Town. But it's a great one. Who run the world? And why does Beyonce then? Why does she say who run the world? Well, she's using slang, which I wouldn't recommend you use it because it doesn't sound like, you don't want to sound like a rapper, when you're speaking English. I guess in Spanish too. It's not that sound. But Again, they have poetic license. They can do whatever they want. Mick Jagger can't get no satisfaction. I know it's any, you know it's any, but it just doesn't sound good with any. So to the ladies running the world, keep doing it, keep kicking ass and taking names, keep killing it, ¿no? Para ver el otro uso de matar, arrasar. Keep killing it. And I think it's time to move on to Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie only on the show with no name. I don't know if you guys, have you been to the movies recently? Has anybody seen anything good? I don't mean on Netflix. I mean in the movies, at the movie theater. And I really, on Dolby Digital Surround. The latest movie I saw was the new, what's his name? Siempre le llamo Madonna's ex. El ex de well, she's more famous than he is, so that's all there is. Even though I like both of them for different reasons. Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie. Well, his new movie is pretty good. And the day before, it was really funny because the day before, my wife and I, we had a date night. You have to have date nights from time to time. A nochecita. And what happened was we were talking about Hugh Grant. Hugh Subvención. And Subvención, a grant in English. And we were talking about him like the day before we went to see this movie. And I didn't even know he was in the movie. And I remember my wife says, "Oh, I like Hugh Grant." I'm like, I don't like Hugh Grant at all. He always plays the same character all the time. The pretty boy, playboy, posh Englishman. Well, after this movie, I ate my words. And now, see, I'm not afraid to admit, guys, when I'm wrong. I love Hugh Grant. He's awesome in this movie. You know why? And I'm not going to give away the movie. I'm not going to spoil it. You know who are the greatest bad guys ever? The ones you like. The ones where you're like, I know he's the bad guy, but I like him. Like, the more time he's on screen, cuanto más tiempo está en pantalla, mejor. And he didn't play, I'm the bad guy. Like, he was like a charming guy. You can understand how he got so powerful in this movie and his character. I won't tell you too much more, but all I can say is Jason Statham is Jason Statham. I'm having a real fucking bad day, and then he beats people up. He's awesome. I love Jason. Huge fan. But the one that really impressed me in this movie, the new Guy Ritchie movie I'm talking about, is Hugh Grant. He really goes against character. And then the one I saw before that was Moon Age Daydream, which is a David Bowie documentary, but it wasn't shown in a lot of different places. So this had a very limited showing. And then before that, Maverick. I can't remember. I've seen a few movies recently. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This trailer is pretty simple over here, isn't it? All right, well, I'm going to give it to you as always. The State of Israel is created in 1948, resulting in war with its Arab neighbors. Okay? So, the state, el Estado, we say the same thing, the State of Israel is created in 1948, resulting in war with its Arab neighbors. Sound familiar? Still going on? The Gaza Strip, as we say, the Gaza Strip, la franja, you say? We say strip, como tira. The Gaza Strip. Well, we have the Las Vegas Strip. Es como la franja principal. The Gaza Strip. So does that sound familiar? Still going on? 1948? Man. And careful, we don't say Israel. We say Israel. It's a little bit different. We don't pronounce every syllable. We say Israel. Anybody recognize the movie? The State of Israel, it sounds like a news report, is created in 1948, resulting in war with its Arab neighbors, sus vecinos árabes. Let's see. Lemura says, Hugh Grant is great in The Undoing. I was surprised by his change of role. Oh, then you'll love Lemura. I don't know if you guys are Guy Ritchie fans. Cerdos y Diamantes, Snatch, que Snatch es robar, by the way. El título en inglés tiene sentido. Bueno, en español también, pero en inglés aprendemos la palabra snatch. Suena hasta como es. I'm going to snatch that from you. So he goes against character in this movie too. No me acuerdo cómo se llama. Let's see. New Guy, porque vi el título en español. So I didn't even see the title in English. New Guy Ritchie, The Covenant. Se llama The Covenant? During the war, a local interpreter? No, I don't think that's the one. Guy Ritchie. Let's see. Guy Ritchie movie with Hugh Grant. Vamos a lío here. Let's look at what we're looking for. Operation Fortune. Operación Fortuna. Ruse de Guerre is a 2023 spy action comedy. That's the thing. It's a comedy. There are a lot of funny scenes in it, too. So I think you guys will like it. It's entertaining, and it's not the usual Marvel. And don't get me wrong. I like Marvel. But if you force anything on me too much, I'm not going to like it. And now that's how I feel like Marvel's like, another superhero, another one, get them all together. Put Iron Man with his mother and then Spider-Man's mother. And then we got the mother of Spider-Man. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Can we try something different now? Or just go back to making movies about everything? Again, this is from somebody who loves Marvel, but I'm getting a little marveled out, if you know what I mean. I want to see something that doesn't have people in capes and spandex. Again, I love those movies until we overdo it. Nos pasamos tres pueblos. We've got a winner over here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Chris Valrol. Today's flick is Exodus. Exodus, which is a chapter in the Bible and also means a lot of people leaving a place, a great exodus. It's a great word. I think it's a rock band. ¿No es un grupo de música también? Exodus. All right. Well, this movie came out in 1960. Recently, there was one that came out. Ridley Scott directed one a couple years ago, which part of it was filmed in Almeria. But this is the original from 1960. And it goes like this. This is Taha Mukhtar of Abu Yisha. Please excuse my Jewish or Arabic pronunciation because I don't have any. I don't know how to pronounce these words, but we'll look at the important words in English. This is Taha Mukhtar of Abu Yisha, and this is Karen, Secretary of the Rooms Committee, Bungalow 12, Gan Dafna. So they're just talking about where they're stationed over there. Now, the name Karen, I don't know if you guys know this. If you were ever thinking of naming your daughter Karen or your son Kevin, don't do it. These words have now become synonyms, these names, for Charo, I think, in Spanish. And no offense if your name is Charo, I didn't make that up. Yo no lo inventé. Lo mismo que Karen. ¿Me has llamado una Karen? Karen, the typical blonde woman who's like, I want to speak to a manager right now. Excuse me, sir, I'm going to call the police. You know those American women? Karens. And you know the men? They're Kevins. Y ahora puedes ver que el nombre Karen and Kevin is disappearing in English. Now, when somebody says the name Karen, and I went to school with a lot of Karens, and they weren't Karens. ¿Me entiendes? Se llamaban Karen, pero no eran como... They were nice people. But unfortunately, that name now has taken on a whole new meaning. So Taha should have lived a long life, una vida larga, surrounded by his people and his sons, rodeado de su gente y sus hijos. And death should have come to him. La muerte debería haberle venido. As an old friend, como viejo amigo, offering the gift of sleep, ofreciendo el regalo del sueño. It came instead, en vez de eso vino, as a maniac, un loco. And Karen, no puedo, who loved her life and talking to the manager. See what happened with that name? And Karen, who loved her life and who lived it as purely as a flame, como una llama, puramente. Why did God forget her? ¿Por qué se olvidó Dios de ella? Why did God forget her? Why did she have to stumble upon death so young? Toparse con, to stumble upon death so young, ¿no? Topar con la muerte, and all alone, and in the dark, y en la oscuridad. Folks, we have to take our final commercial break. I can't believe it myself. Time has just flown by. We have one more part of the show left, and we've got so much to do. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget, you got fresh shows all day long here on Vaughn Radio. Download our free app or listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. This is the show with no name. Right up next, we've got Let's Get Random. Don't miss it. Been getting a lot of great feedback about Jules and her program, Let's Get Random. And the good news is you got it right after this show. All you have to do is stay tuned. And remember, guys, if you want more information, you can follow us on social media, plus content, special deals. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think Vaughn is even on LinkedIn. Check it out. All right, amigos. All right. Well, we have got so much to do here in the fourth and final part of today's show. So let's rock it with today's Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. Double Trouble, a translation with a twist. This is where you're going to have to translate a sentence, but there's just one problem. There's just one or two translations. I say two because you guys always find another way to do it, but you got to use the same word twice. So this is a section where you can be right, but not 100% right, where the translation works, but not for this section. You catch my drift? Maybe yes. Okay. So, as always, the same word has to be used twice. Good luck. Te dije que no le interrogaras sobre la barbacoa o sobre la parrilla. ¿No? No sé si lo he pronunciado bien, el interrogaras. Te dije que no le interrogases o interrogaras. It's a difficult one for me. Sobre la barbacoa o la parrilla. To our friends down in Argentina. Oh, man, I'm dying to go to Argentina for many reasons. One being the food. So, te dije que no le interrogaras sobre la barbacoa, la parrilla. All right, that is today's Double Trouble. Also, we're going to give our Say What soundbite a fourth listen. Some of our students have already figured it out. If you haven't, this is your last chance.
No. We're not going to pay you. get your own product. And we looked around and found this grill, not in this current form. And we formed a joint venture together.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the fourth and final listen of today's Say What soundbite. We'll figure out who that is, what's being said, the context, and all that jazz a little bit later on. Also, we've got to solve our double trouble. Let's go on over here to our chat room. The Last Mohican says, even in Spain, people calls. Slam on the brakes. Dale al freno. People calls o people call. Acuérdate, people is they. So nunca lleva ese people. El verbo de ese nunca es tercera persona, ¿ok? Es un error muy común. The Last Mohican says, even in Spain, people call Kevin to his sons back in the 90s. Entonces aquí tenemos que jugar un poco. So even in Spain, people called their sons Kevin in the 90s. Eso sería la forma más natural. Yeah, I think that was because of Kevin Costner, right? If I'm not mistaken. Well, that name now has lost its luster. Su brillante, at least in English in the United States. I would never name my child now Karen or Kevin because I don't want them to be teased. No quiero que les vacilen en el cole. All right, Monse says, I told you not to grill him about the grill. Does that sound right to you guys? Te dije que no le interrogaras sobre la barbacoa o la parrilla. I told you not to grill him about the grill. Is this correct? Yes, it is. I see a lot of people have figured it out. There's Laura Lemura as well, and some other students who have figured it out. So I told you not to. Te hice esto aposta. Why? Because the negative of the infinitive is pretty tough. It's challenging. I don't like the word tough or hard. It's challenging. Even native speakers, I told you to not go. You know, it's to not. It's not to. All you have to do is think of Shakespeare. That's what I tell my students with the negative of the infinitive. Think of Shakespeare. And if you think of Shakespeare, you'll never forget how to use it. To be or not. ¿Cómo es el orden? To be or not to be. Okay, pues cambia el be por cualquier verbo que quieras ahí. And you've got the negative of the infinitive. And even if you wanted to practice it, you know how you practice it? Okay, the teacher said to the students, don't scream in class. The teacher said to the students, don't scream in my class. What did the teacher tell the students? The teacher told the students not to scream in class. Let's do two more just to make sure you got it. The father said to his child, don't talk back. No me contestes. The father said to his child, don't talk back. What did the father tell his child? He told him or her not to talk back. All right, last one. Do it with me. Quiero que lo hagáis conmigo. Okay, the coach said to his players, don't be lazy. No seáis vagos. The coach said to his or her players, don't be lazy. What did he or she tell the players? He or she told them, así practicamos ahí los, right? Not to be lazy. Se me olvidó el ejemplo. Not to be lazy. So practice that by using, alguien le dije que no hiciera tal cosa. So I told you not to grill him about the grill. Again, we said a grill. I'm sure you know that word, right? Grilled barbecue ribs a la parrilla. So parrilla, plancha, asador. There are three different things. A grill is also rejilla or reja, right? Over a fan. You know, in the kitchen, you have a fan, and then over that fan to protect it, that's where all the grease gets. That's a grill too. Okay. And it's interesting because in the States, a grill can be a grill, like a barbecue grill, or it can be una plancha de estas donde haces calamares. That can be a grill too. So that's interesting. You'll know from the context. And also it means cocinar a la parrilla. I'm grilling and chilling this weekend. Había un programa de televisión muy popular que se llamaba Grilling and Chilling with Bobby Flay. If you want to learn more about grilling and barbecuing and the difference between the two and learn some of my tips, there's an FYI episode on BBQ. And also, to grill somebody is to ask them a lot of questions, right? The police grilled the suspect for hours, durante horas, right? Grill is also la rejilla o parrilla en el coche. You know, the front of the car? That's also the grill as well, okay? So it's one of these words that I think all of you are familiar with, but did you know that it had so many damn meanings? Well, it does. But I'm not going to grill you on it. Not today. No os voy a interrogar o hacer muchas preguntas. I'm not going to grill you on the many uses of grill today. But as long as you recognize that that word is a very rich word, and that you invite me next time you have a barbecue, we're good. All right. Let's see. Leonardo says, wow, my congrats to the incredible performance of the ladies today. There is no place here for Barbies. Bravo, bravo. Yeah, well, Leonardo, this is no offense. I have TikTok, by the way. If you're on TikTok, you can follow me. I just reached 5,000 followers on TikTok. I share videos, but this isn't TikTok. This is YouTube, baby. This is Twitter. I mean, this is where all of us, I think, are somewhat serious. But who knows? We have fun. That's the thing. We're serious without being too serious, because, you know, the idea is always the same, and that's to have fun. But Leonardo, absolutely. The ladies, they're always kicking ass, but today, wow, man, girl power, as they say. Girl power. Fuerza de las chicas. I love it. Great job. And let's give them another round of applause. And you know me, guys. I'm like Richard Vaughn there. I'm not giving you guys a compliment unless I really feel it. Guy, girl, or anything in between. All right. Well, folks, it's time to move on to You're Joking.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar.
You're joking. That's right, amigos. That's right. You're joking, only on the show with no name. And you know, the other day I was sitting around and I thought to myself, I was wondering. Remember, wander con una A es deambular, but to wonder suena como uno, wonder. I was wondering how lightning worked. Lightning, relámpagos, right? We've got thunder, which is the sound, and lightning, which is what you see, right? And it's called an electrical storm, or thunder and lightning. It's like thunder, lightning. The way you love me, it's frightening. You'll hear that in a lot, thunderstruck, over and over, right? There's a lot of reference to this. So I used to wonder, normal, I guess like any kid, because my mom told me God was bowling. Que cuando había truenos, thunder, Dios estaba tirando unos bolos. Kind of sounds like it, doesn't it? That's what we say in the States. Yeah, God's bowling. Decís lo mismo. Es que los bolos no son, al menos no eran tan populares. Cuando yo era un chaval, it's always God is bowling. But I knew, you know, as I got older, that there was no truth in that. God was not bowling. He's not a bowler. Everybody knows he likes basketball. So I used to wonder how lightning worked. And then, like, it was incredible because it just struck me. It struck me. No? Did anybody get it? I was wondering how lightning worked, and then it struck me. It struck me? No? All right. Well, if you get struck by lightning, that's not good. If you survived, awesome. Okay, so to get struck by lightning, que te da un relámpago, no? This is the chances of getting struck by lightning are very high. You know, you're not going to get struck. I know one person in my dad's village who got struck by lightning twice. Yeah. Also, Laura's explaining, se me ocurrió. It struck me. It dawned on me. Entonces, se me vino, se me ocurrió. So that's another use of this. I couldn't find the answer. Y entonces me pegó, me dio un golpe en la cara. Think about it that way. It struck. Esta es la respuesta. Think about it like a bolt of inspiration, a bolt of lightning. Laura says, caí en la cuenta. Then it struck me, right? It hit me. También se puede, bueno, strike and hit son pegar. So both of those. I didn't know what happened, but then it hit me. Then it struck me. En ese momento, caí en la cuenta. That would be the best translation. Excellent job. So do you get it now? I used to wonder how lightning worked, and then it struck me. And also remember, a strike in bowling is cuando tiras todos los bolos. How do we call the bolos? They're not called bowls because you've got the bowling ball, and then you've got the pins. Los bolos are called the pins. Yeah, but you know what? After that joke, I guess I'm just going to have to bolt. What? No. Well, a lightning bolt, un relámpago. You can say a lightning rod or a lightning bolt, like the word rod, R-O-D. So I grabbed, I had to bolt. Get it? Now, no puedes usar lo intercambiable. Sí con lightning. Okay, there's a lightning bolt. Did you see that lightning rod? Did you see that lightning bolt? But si tú dices, me tengo que pirar, pero rápido, I got a bolt. We don't say I've got a rod. Because see this, I've got a rod, I would think of caña de pescar. I've got a rod. Oh, I've got a rod and I've got a bolt. Tengo una caña de pescar y tengo que pirarme, pero ambos significan también un relámpago. Okay. All right. All right, well, I'll give you another one. You're like, what? More jokes? Are you serious? What did we do to deserve this? He says, why did the man driving a train get struck by lightning? Why did the man driving a train get struck by lightning? We already know struck by lightning because he was a good conductor. Conductor? Do you say the same? All right. Well, a conductor doesn't drive the train. A conductor is the person who, el revisor, I think you say, which is weird. Conductor, revisor, doesn't, you'd think it's the person, el maquinista, but it's not. It's not the driver. Okay. So that's an interesting one because it's quite confusing, I think, when I think about that. But also a conductor is something that conducts electricity, right? Oh, metal is a good conductor. That's a great word, too, because also a conductor is somebody you'll find on a train, and a conductor is somebody you'll find in front of an orchestra. You say director de orquesta. All right, so great jokes. Okay, no, they weren't. Let's see. Leonardo says, you are all wonderful. By the way, I learned on Word Reference that Aussies also call the barbecue a Barbie. That's right. In fact, any American, Leonardo, that wants to imitate an Australian, do you know what we say? Throw another shrimp on the Barbie, mate. Creo que vino de un anuncio. It was from a commercial. Seguro que lo podéis encontrar. With Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee. And he says, and it was a commercial for Australia tourism. And he's like, come on down to Australia. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie. So anytime an American person wants to imitate an Australian person, we say, good eye, mate. Good day, mate. Good eye, mate. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie. Great one. Nice one you got there, Leonardo. All right, well, it's time to move on. We've got so much to celebrate that our students are kicking butt, but also we've got some birthdays to celebrate in famous birthday trivia.
1, 2, 3. Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays
That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. Our first birthday boy was born in 1939. He was an American actor, and he died in 1976. Okay, so he died young, 1939. Somebody who's good at math, por favor. Alguien que domina la matemática. Maybe you can help us out here. 39, and he died in 76. Now, what movies would you know him from? You would know him from Rebel Without a Cause with James Dean. O sea, no es James Dean si no te hubiese dicho su nombre. I wouldn't have told you his name. And he was 17 in that movie, and he won the nomination. He didn't win the award, but the nomination for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He was also in Crime in the Streets. He was in Giant. That was with James Dean. In fact, that was James Dean's last movie, Giant. And he was also in Exodus, which was today's Name That movie, the original Exodus. He was in John Ford's final Western, Cheyenne Autumn. He was also in Escape from Planet of the Apes. Oh, and if you don't know who John Ford is, one of the greatest Western directors in the world. Well, an American Western director, John Ford. Tienes que ver My Darling Clement. Bueno, cualquiera. He's one of our, if you love these shots of the Wild West, that's, I mean, just beautiful cinematography. So yeah, this guy unfortunately was killed. We know it's not kill, it's killed. We looked at that in our homophone section. And he was killed, unfortunately. He was returning home from rehearsal for a play, una obra. And he was parking his car below his West Hollywood apartment, and he was stabbed in the heart by a mugger. That's pretty bad luck there. To be stabbed, apuñalado, in the heart, es el corazón, and by a mugger. So a mugger is somebody, un atracador, a mugger, okay? Laura says he died when he was 37 years old, so he didn't even reach 40. Number 2, this person was born in 1945. His first name is another way of saying relámpago, and it's not Bolt. O sea, es la otra. And this guy, I mean, you probably know so many of his songs. When I see you tonight on a downtown train. This guy has a really raspy voice. I'm sure you know him. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy. He's from the UK, and he's got spiky hair too. So he's known for his raspy voice and his spiky hair. And last but not least, this guy is known for his boxing. He's also known for his grill. We know the word grill. We looked at that in depth today. And his last name means capataz. If you have the original, This Book is the Milk, este ejemplo, él sale en el libro. And he's also got, I think, like 6 or 7 sons, and they're all named the same. They're all named after him. O sea, es muy confuso en su casa. Because he's big, and then he's got like, I don't remember how many, but instead of saying, tú te llamas Paco, tú te llamas Pablo, no. He decided to name them all after him. But this guy, I don't remember seeing him as a boxer. It was kind of before my time. In fact, he had a comeback, un retorno, in 1994. But again, I was still too young to follow him. I remember Tyson, Holyfield, Macho Camacho. These are the boxers I remember. But this guy is a legend. Es el capataz. And again, he was probably making more money with his grill, which has got his name. I think he was making, they said, $5 million a week or something, or 500. I don't remember. But in 1999, he sold the commercial rights to the grill for $138 million. So good business deal there. Let's see. We've got a winner. Please give it up for your classmate, Chris Valrol. Number 1 is Sal Mineo. Actor Sal Mineo. Number 2, Rod Stewart. And number 3, George Foreman. And that's going to bring us over to our Say What soundbite. This is George Foreman. And he's talking about how he was endorsing products, But then after a year, he wouldn't make any more money. He would just get paid once. And he goes, well, I want to do something in business, but I want to do something that's my own, where I can keep it going as long as I want to. So he knew he wanted to use his image, and so he says he talked to a company and they said, okay. He said, how much are you guys going to pay me? And they said, well, no, it doesn't work like that. You want to come up with your own product, you have to invest. So that's why he says, oh, no, we're not going to pay you. Get your own product. Tú tienes tu propio producto, entonces, you get money off that. And so I guess him and his people, he says, and we looked around, miramos por ahí, and found the grill, this grill, the Foreman grill, the George Foreman grill. He says, not in its current form, no en su forma actual. And he goes, and then we formed a joint venture together. Formamos una empresa colaborativa, no hemos dicho conjunto, juntos. So he's talking about how he came up with the idea for the George Foreman grill, because he was already doing commercials for all different things, but he wanted to go a step further. So here's our birthday boy, George Foreman.
No. We're not going to pay you. Get your own product. And we looked around and found the grill, this grill, not in its current form. And we formed a joint venture together.
It's funny because when he sold the rights to the Foreman grill, I guess he threw in the towel. Tiró la toalla. It's a boxing. Okay. All right. It's time for Name That Lyric.
Hi. Hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry. Bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. I'm not going to give it to you because we have 20 seconds left. So, folks, it's Rod Stewart. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on, sugar, let me know. Thank you so much for being here, guys, today and every day. It's an absolute pleasure. Keep up the great work, and we'll be back tomorrow with more. Ciao.